Good day everyone, I am Christy Borrinaga. So a continuation of Miss Burlao's topic, I am going to discuss Rizals, arrest, and exile. So what we will discuss. So first, we have here romantic affair with Josephine Brocken, Katipunan 6 Rizal's advice, and lastly we have here Rizal's departure from Tapitan as a prisoner. So first, we have here romantic affair with Josephine Bracken. So Rizal had always been missing his family and their happy moments together in Calamba, and his despair doubled up the announcement of Leonor Rivera's death. So Jose Rizal really missed his family, especially of his hometown, which is Calamba, and his despair doubled up, especially when he heard about the announcement of Leonor Rivera's death. So, who is Leonor Rivera? So, Leonor Rivera, he was the childhood sweetheart and lover by our correspondents of Philippine national hero Jose Rizal. So Rivera was the greatest influence in preventing Rizal from falling in love with other women while Rizal was traveling outside the Philippines. So after Leonor Rivera's death, not so soon, to his surprise, an Irish girl enlightened his rather gloomy heart. This girl was 8 years old, and this is Josephine Bracken. So Josephine Bracken, according to Wenceslao Retona's word, he was a slender, a chestnut blonde with blue eyes, dressed with elegant simplicity, with an atmosphere of light. So from Hong Kong, she arrived in Dapitan in February 1895 with his blind foster father George Taufer and Filipina named Manuela Orla. So as Rizal and Bracken instantly fell in love with each other as love at first sight. So in just 1 month, they both agreed na magpakasal, which kana appeal and disturbed by Taufer na which is papa ni Josephine Bracken. However, they face mga they face a lot of oppositions from Josephine foster father and the um, the parish priest in of the Pitan, and because they wanted na magpakasal man jud, so they eventually exchange their vows before God in their own way, and their love during in 1896 their love bear fruit. So Josephine Bracken is pregnant, and unfortunately their child was born premature and lived only for 3 hours, and Josephine lived the rest of her life in Hong Kong and still honoring Rizal's memory. And in addition, Bracken's child was buried in the Pitan, bearing the name Francisco after Rizal's father. And now let's move on to Katipunan 6 Rizal's advice. So prior to the outbreak of the revolution, the Katipunan leader, which is Andres Bonifacio, sought the advice of Jose Rizal. So in a secret meeting on May 2, 1896 at Bitukang Manok River in Pasig, the group or the Katipuneros agreed to send Dr. Payo Valenzuela as a representative to the Pitan, who will inform Rizal of their plan to launch revolution against the Spaniards. So on board in a steamer, so Valenzuela left Manila on June 15, 1892. So mga 6 days siya nga biyahe. So, on June 21, 1896, he arrived at Dapitan with a companion, blind companion Raimondo Mata. So, during at night, si Jose Rizal o si Valenzuela is they talk about the Katipunan's plan regarding sa revolution. However, um, Rizal is ning oppose siya, ning object siya sa plano ni Bonifacio, which is he described it as premature idea. So Rizal outspokenly objected Bonifacio's premature idea for two reasons. So first, we have here the Filipinos were still unready for the such bloody revolution, which is true. Knowing that ang mga Spaniards is grabe gid kaayo mga batasan, and which is na mga kanang wag sila na sila mga gamit or panglaban laban sa mga Pilipino, whereas ang mga katipuneros that time is di siya prepared na mag-launch o revolution o makipag war against Spaniard. So second, the katipunans lack machinery before plotting a revolution, so there must be a sufficient arms funds collected. So makita nga rin nga sakto si Rizal nga di siya dapat si Andres Bonifacio mapadalos-dalos og launch of budget revolution if they're not well prepared, if they're not fully armed. Kay there's a possibility nga daghan jud mga numbers of katipuneros na mamatay and makuha sa Spaniards. So on July 30, 1896, months before Rizal was contacted on the plan of Katipunan, Rizal offered his medical service in Cuba, which was then in the throes of revolution, and there was an outbreak of yellow fever epidemic. So Rizal, after he decided na mag-serve ato sa Cuba para mag-help sa mga tao ngadto, kay Rizal, si Rizal is nag-wrote og kanang letter ni Governor General Ramon Blanco this plan and serve as military doctor in Cuba. So nag-talk siya ni General Blanco about sa kaniyang plan na mag-serve ato sa Cuba. And it was only in July 30, 1896, that day, he was given a go signal to go in Cuba through the letter from Governor Blanco. And now let's move on to our last topic, which is Rizal's departure from Dapitan as a prisoner. So on the midnight of July 31, 1896, he bade goodbye to the Dapitan folks. He was accompanied to the shore by Josephine, Narcissa, Angelica. So Angelica is Narcissa's daughter, and together with his 3 nephews, 6 pupils, and some Dapitan residents. As he embarked on board to the steamer in Espana, dahang kay mga nanghilag as the steamer sailed away. So the town brass band played the dolorous farewell music, which is a funeral march of Chopin, as to show gratefulness and to show it is a sign of farewell na po ni Rizal. So as the ship pushed out further into the sea, si Rizal kay tanaw balik for the last time sa Dapitan, waving farewell salute to the kind and hospitable people with tears and nostalgic memories. So, in ana ang reaction ni Rizal, because Rizal stayed in Dapitan for 4 years and 13 days. So, Rizal made some delightful stopovers in Dumaguete, Cebu, Iloilo, Capiz, and Romblon. So, on August 6, 1896, the Espana arrived in Manila on Thursday morning, and he failed to catch the mail ship in Isla de Luzon because he had earlier departed midnight of the same day. So, Captain Enrique gave Rizal a good accommodation since wa niya na-fail man siya na makuha ang katong mail ship. So, Captain Enrique gave Rizal a good accommodation because he was told that he wasn't a prisoner but a guest on board in order to avoid difficulties from friends and enemies. So, Rizal stayed in the cruiser for about a month. So, para sa mamsatang ginato kay, di ba, he hoped that to catch the mail ship in Isla de Luzon, which was scheduled to depart that same day, but it had already left by the time he arrived. So, wa siya kaabot. So, si Governor General Blanco, who had offered Rizal's arrest, she ordered na i-arrest si Rizal and was concerned about the possibility nga kanang about sa friends ni Rizals or enemies na mo attempt nga mo attempt niya mapalaya sa iyaha while he was in Manila. So, to avoid mga any complications, si Governor Blanco transferred Rizal to the Spanish cruiser Castilla, so which was anchored in Manila Bay. So, si Captain Enrique, the commander of Castilla, provided Rizal with a comfortable accommodations on board the ship. And he told Rizal that he wasn't being held as a prisoner but rather as a guest para ma-avoid ang mga potential conflicts o mga misunderstandings. So si Rizal ito man ato nga guest siya prisoner, so Rizal remained on board the Castilla for about a month. So from August 3 to August 6 rather to September 3, 1896. So while Spanish authorities waited for an opportunity to transport him out of the country, he eventually transferred to the ship bound for Spain, where he was imprisoned and later executed for his involvement sa revolution. So giprison siya because ni involvement siya sa kanang revolution, which is dili jud gusto ang mga Spaniards about that. August 19, 1896, the Katipunan's plot to overthrow the Spanish rule means of revolution was discovered by the Fray Mariano Hill and Agustian Cora of Tondo. So, para mas masabtan gid ni siya, the Katipunan was a secret organization that was formed in 1892 by the Filipino nationalist si Anas Bonifacio. So ang main objective sa mga Katipuneros was to fight for the independence in the Philippines from Spanish colonial rule. So the members of Katipunan, they are known as Katipuneros. So they plan to initiate a revolution against the Spanish government. Fray Hill's discovery of the plot can be attributed to his role as a respected community leader and his interactions with the local population. So, as an Agustian Cora, Fray Hill is na siya position nga mo influence and authority within the Tondo district, and he was responsible for ministering to the spiritual needs of the residents ng mga tao ngadto, and his role is often involve counseling, maminaw sa mga concerns sa mga tao sa mga residents. On August 26, 1896, the cry Balintawak was raised by Bonifacio and his valiant Katipuneros. The cry of Balintawak was a expression of defense and call to arms against Spanish colonial oppression. So The event that led to the cry of Balintawak started when Spanish official arrested a group of Katipuneros um, who were route to Cavite. So one of the captured Katipuneros is uh, katong was a woman named Gregoria de Jesus, who was the wife of Andres Bonifacio. August 30, 1896, Bonifacio and Jacinto attacked San Juan, Battles of San Juan. So in the afternoon, Governor General Blanco proclaimed a state of war in the first 8 provinces in Manila. So as a province in Bulacan, Cavite, Batangas, Laguna, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, and Tarlac. So mas masabtan gid nato no. So si Andres Bonifacio and his close ally Emilio Jacinto led an attack on San Juan. So a town near in Manila. So as a part of the Philippine Revolution against Spanish colonial rule, so this event is nagmark gid siya, nagmark um marked the battles of San Juan and was one of the first major battles of the revolution. So, ang nahitabuan ni, despite sa ilahang bravery and determination, the attack on San Juan was ultimately unsuccessful jud, and the Filipino forces were forced to retreat. So, ang there are a lot of significant number of Katipuneros were killed and nadakpan during sa battle. So while si Andres Bonifacio og other niya mga forces is nakatakas at iyang gi-regroup iyang mga tao. So later in the afternoon of the same day, kay si Governor Blanco, the Spanish colonial leader in the Philippines, so proclaimed a state of war in the first 8 provinces of the country. So these provinces kanin sila kaning Bulacan, Cavite, Batangas, Laguna, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, Tarlac. So the proclamation meant that the Spanish colonial government had formally declared war against the revolutionary forces in the Philippines. So on September 2, 1896 at 6 p.m., Rizal was transferred to the steamer Isla de Panay, which was sailed for Barcelona, Spain. So what happened here is that Jose Rizal was transferred to the steamer Isla de Panay, which was bound to Barcelona, Spain, right? And this journey marked Rizal's as the last trip to the Spain and had significant implications for the Philippine Revolution and Rizal role in it. So at that time Rizal was already prominent figure in the Philippine nationalist movement and had been actively advocating for reforms and independence from Spanish colonial rule. However, his writings and mga peaceful methods of resistance had drawn the attention sa mga Spanish colonial authorities and who viewed him as a threat to their control. Like, na-threaten sila sa kanang mga writings ni Jose Rizal ba. And the decision to transfer Rizal to Spain was made by the Spanish authorities. So as means to remove him from the Philippines and isolate him from the growing revolutionary movement. So by sending him sa Spain, they hope nagtuo sila or they hope na mas ma-weaken ang influence ni Rizal and ma-prevent niya ang na maka-inspire pa o maka-organize o mga revolutionary forces. Abi man nila na if they will transfer Rizal to the Spain or other places or palayo siya sa kanang Philippines is mas mo-weaken ang katong iyang giform na mga revolutionary forces kay di na siya mahimo na. So munang gibuhat iyang gisend si Rizal sa Spain para kana mas mo-weaken na yung impluwensya. But Rizal's journey to Spain mark as the beginning of a new chapter of his life and his involvement in the revolution. So sa Spain, nag-continue siya og kanang advocate sa Philippine independence through his writings gihapon and political activities. So through his writings, he sought support from the fellow Filipinos living sa Spain and formed mga alliances with other revolutionaries in the Europe. So, however, kanang however, sa tanang efforts na iyang gibuhat, despite sa mga effort iyang gibuhat, Rizal's stay in Spain is like matawag siya nga short-lived na lang. Because in 1896, he was arrested and accused of being involved in revolutionary activities. And he was subsequently exiled to the island of the Pitan in the Philippines, where he continued his nationalist work until his execution by the Spanish authorities in 1896. Since nasa Spain noon, puno naman si Rizal. So on September 7, 1896, si Jose Rizal na-arrive siya sa Singapore on board in the steamer of Esa de Panay. So upon arrival, he and other passengers went to sightseeing and shopping in the city. However, to his surprise, he was placed under arrest by the ship's keeper, which is the Captain Alemani. So upon instructions from Manila government. So at that time, si Rizal was wagi siya unaware gid siya that the Spanish colonial authorities in Manila had been secretly conspiring against him since the departure niya sa Manila Bay on his way sa Spain. So si Governor General Blanco and other mga colonies were exchanging coded kanang through telegrams and confidential messages to coordinate para ma-coordinate nila ang pag-arrest nila ni Rizal o sa iyang downfall. So, Rizal was being secretly kept under surveillance by the authorities and who learned his growing influence on nationalist movement in the Philippines. So, gi-arrest siya because they saw Rizal as a threat to the Spanish colonial rule and believe nga through sa iyang imprisonment or exile, mas maweaken ang revolutionary forces. So despite sa arrest ni Rizal, nag-maintain siya nga sa iyang commitment na mag-cause gihapon of Philippine independence. So nag-continue gihapon siya nag-inspire po siya mga other nationalists to carry and to fight against Spanish colonial rule. So his imprisonment is eventual execution in 1896 would be further galvanized and revolutionary forces and fuel in the Philippine Revolution, which ultimately led to country's independence in 1898. September 30, 1896, the steamer anchored at Malta at about 6:25 in the evening. So being a prisoner, and he was confined in his cabin, and he was not able to visit the famous island fortress in the Christian Crusaders. So, what happened here? Ang ship is ninghunong sa Malta in the evening, and a person on the ship was locked up in the room because they were a prisoner naman, so they were not allowed to go see mga famous castle sa island and was built long ago in Christian soldiers. And on October 3, 1896, the steamer Esa de Panay arrived in Barcelona about 10 o'clock in the evening. So, what happened here is, di ba naabot naman sila sa Esa de Panay and sa Barcelona sa mga around 10 a.m. At 10 p.m. in the evening. So, the trip from Manila to Barcelona lasted 30 days or mga siya one month. So Rizal was kept under heavy guard in the cabin for 3 days in released by General Despohol and his men. So the general happened to be the same person who ordered his banishment to the Pitan in July 1892. On on October 6, 1896 at 3 a.m. he was awakened and escorted to the infamous prison fortress in Monjosh. So si Rizal is nag-spend siya for the whole morning inside the cell, and pag alas 2 or 2 p.m. he was taken out in the cell and gida siya sa headquarters sa headquarters ni General Despojol. So he was told that he would be shipped back to the Manila and on board in the ship of Colon. So pag 8 p.m., Rizal was taken abroad the ship which was full of soldiers, officers, and other families. So is the ship left Barcelona with Rizal on board. And lastly, on October 11, 1896, Rizal's diary was taken away before reaching um Port Said. So, diary was critically scrutinized by the Spanish authorities, but surprisingly wa sila nakita ang more dangerous adto or mga content nga maka-down sa ilaha. So the cabin was also thoroughly searched but no subversive materials were found. So what tungod sa kawas nga sir sa wag gid nila nakita ang wala sa diary nakita ang katong mga um, thoughts or mga ingipang suwat about sa colonial rule. That's all. And for the reference, Unit 3, The Life and Work of Rizal by Mariano M. Mariola. So, Rizal's Life, Exile, Trial, and Death. And I hope you guys learned a lot from this lesson. And thank you for listening.